A young man named Lug Shuathadi accepts a contract to kill the corrupt nobles who are aiding a slave auction. Setting in motion the events of the world's finest assassin gets reincarnated on another world as an aristocrat. Lug and his allies, two young women named Dia Vicone and Tart, infiltrate the site of the slave auction in order to stop it. Dia and Tart open fire on the corrupt nobility at the auction without wasting any time, while Lug and his adoptive sister, Maha, can take them out from a safe distance. A look back at Luff's past life reveals that he was the one who trained the rookie assassin and took out the bad guys in the criminal organization. The assassin and the novice were evading capture when they were intercepted by a drone and were forced to think on their feet. At first light, the assassin called the organization and gave notice that he was retiring and would instead spend his time training new assassins in Japan. The assassin and his trainee used counterfeit passports to board an aircraft to Japan. Unfortunately, the assassin's plane was attacked by a fighter jet sent by the organization, and he understood he had been set up. The assassin also understood that his former employer had no use for him and plotted to have his jet go down as a means of eliminating him. However, that simply devastated him, as he had always been loyal to them and would have even took his own life if they had told him he was no longer needed. The assassin met a goddess in the afterlife who offered him two rebirth options, one in which his memories would be erased and the other in which they would be preserved. The assassin's second option was the one the goddess preferred because she needed his services to eliminate the hero from another realm. The assassin consented to killing the hero because he yearned for the joy he had denied himself in the past. The goddess granted him his wish for unique skills, but she gave him only 18 years from the time of his birth to eliminate the hero before he caused havoc in the world. The assassin makes a pact with the goddess and is reborn into the noble house of assassins known as the Chuathada, with the name Lug. As Lug begins his new life, he becomes an accomplished hunter and cooks. His father evaluates his physical growth and believes that Lug is ready for a specific procedure that will give him the ability to discern magic in a person or an environment. Lug successfully received the supernatural eyes passed through the Chuathada line, a set of eyes that he acquired from his father through surgery, which allows long-distance vision. Objects in motion appear more crisper and even allows a deeper sense of depth. It also allows him to perceive mana or magical energy. Normally, mana was something one could only perceive, although now he could faintly make out its flow within his body. The next day, Luff's father introduces him to a girl named Dia Vicone, who will be his magic teacher. Dia is an obol from a foreign land and one of the strongest wizards alive. In trying to assess Luff's magical potential, Dia gives him a Farstone, a rare gemstone that can measure a person's magic ability. Seeing Lug, Dia didn't expect much at first, yet she was soon astonished by his magic strength and talent. Because Luff's power is so enormous, though, the Farstone ends up exploding. Lug gets the bright notion to use Farstones as improvised grenades because of this. Over the next weeks, Dia and Lug become emotionally attached to each other. When they're training, Lug proves to be an extraordinarily fast student. He is not only learning how to manufacture metals but also how to create weapons. Lug and Dia even learn how to construct new spells together. Finally, it's been 2 weeks since they met. On their last night together, Lug presents Dia a titanium knife as thanks for being his teacher, while Dia gives him her own Farstone. On the next day, after Dia departs, Luff's father decides that it is time for Lug to assassinate someone for the first time while explaining the tactics. His father sends Lug to prison, where he encounters a lady accused of several crimes who tries to claim innocence. However, Lug understands that the woman is lying. Because the woman insults him, Lug kills her painlessly. A couple years later, Lug is 10 years old and prepared to walk into the woods to acquire food for winter. In the middle of the forest, Lug is astonished by the arrival of a pack of wolves who are going to pounce on a little girl. Lug then saves the girl named Tart from a pack of wolves who will eat her. Using his monovision, he sees immense promise in Tart, who can be both his personal servant and his assistant during assassinations. Tart is a girl from a destitute family who had made her way to the Chuathada area in hopes of a better life. After rescuing her from a band of wolves, Lug brings Tart to his home and wins permission from his father to train her as an assassin. Long story short, when Lug reaches the age of 12, he finds that Tart has become excellent in spear warfare but has problems handling smaller weapons like knives. To remedy this dilemma, Lug designs a special, retractable spear that Tart may hide behind her garments. With a good weapon at her disposal, Lug believes Tart has become a vital asset in his goal to assassinate the hero. Lug has produced a big collection of Farstones thanks to the spells Daya taught him and reports to his father, explaining that all this time, he has been observing Tart and can claim with absolute certainty that she is not a spy from a rival region. One day, Lug's father tells him that it is time for Lug to meet him in combat to prove he is ready to conduct assassinations. Despite Lug's youth and experience from his past life, his father, Cyan, proves to be a tough opponent. Afterward, Lug joins his father in conducting assassinations, and Cyan tells him that to facilitate his work, he will have to assume a fictitious identity as a member of the Balor trade family. His father then arranges a feast to honor Lug's ascent as heir of the house. After that, Lug and Tart depart the following day and begin their journey to the Balor region. In the Balor region, Lug and Tart start their lives in the trading post of Miltu under assumed names. On the opposite side, a small girl named Maha and her pals must work hard to make a life in the metropolis. Unfortunately, they are abducted by a group of bandits and taken to an orphanage, which turns out to be a front for a prostitution ring. There, all the girls, except Maha, are forced into prostitution under the heel of the local noble, which badly traumatized them. When 2 years, Lug, now masquerading as a Lig Balor, tracks down Maha after she realizes she is the heir apparent. However, before Lug can buy her, the orphanage director informs him he must wait 3 days. Fortunately, Lug saves Maha, and with Tart's help, he can reveal the noble's actions and get him jailed. As the prostitution network is brought down, Maha eventually finds a new home with Lug, as his adoptive sister. As Lug continues his existence as a Lig Balor, he comes up with the idea of opening a cosmetics shop in Miltu to generate revenues for the Balor family and support his assassination tasks. He then offers lotions, moisturizers, and sweets to that realm, giving his shop, Orna, a big rise in sales and a huge advantage in the market barely 6 months after its debut. However, spies hired by rival businesses strive to penetrate Lug's home to find the secrets of his success. With the help of Tart and Maha, Lug captures at least one spy, but cannot get any helpful information from him, even while putting him to torture. As his business flourishes, Lug momentarily leaves Miltu and prepares to visit Daya to increase his magical skills. Having established a profitable business in Miltu, Lug decides to return home and resume his training as an assassin. He leaves Maha in charge of Orna, knowing that she aims to grow the firm into other regions, and says he will visit. On their journey home, Lug and Tart are attacked by a group of wolves, but Tart easily kills them, and Lug observes that monster attacks on human villages have become more regular, suspecting that the hero will show up soon. Upon his return, Lug is brought to his father's study, where his father gives him a chance to give up on the life of an assassin and instead live happily as a trader. His father has become too elderly to do something else with his life, but Lug is still free to select his own course. However, Lug prefers to remain in his existing lifestyle. He acknowledges that he has fallen in love with Daya, and adds that he will not be allowed to marry her if he does not possess the rights of the Alvan Kingdom's aristocracy. Accepting his son's choice, Cyan gives Lug his first target as a fully trained assassin. Lug's first target as a fully trained assassin is Count Asbavenkur, a nobleman who has been selling military secrets to other kingdoms in return for Vizin, a drug that he distributes throughout the realm. Using Maha's information network, Lug chooses to study the Count by himself and assess whether or not the target genuinely needs assassination. Lug and Tart visit Pysair, the second largest commercial town in the kingdom, and take down a criminal group selling Vizin, but not before seeing the effects of the drug on a poor girl's mother. Sometime later, Lug and Maha travel to the Count's mansion on the premise of selling Orna's items, proving to be a success for Orna. As night falls, Lug stealthily assassinates Count Venkur with his newest weapon, a sniper rifle, but takes the time to see the heartbroken wife's reaction. While Lug does not regret taking the Count's life, he swears never to forget the specific operation, as it was the first assassination he did as a free man rather than as an unfeeling tool. Lug and Tart spend a full month on a deserted island as part of their assassin training, and upon returning to the mainland, Maha provides them knowledge about a divine treasure, an instrument of enormous power, that Lug has been trying to purchase for some time. Setanta Magnus, a famous warrior who many believe is in fact a legendary hero, possesses a magical spear of divine origins known as Gibalg. When Lug learns that there is fighting in the Vicon area, he goes to Daya's house to make preparations for her to leave town if the conflict escalates to her neighborhood. Daya insists she has a responsibility to her family and her people, thus she won't leave their land. Lug and Daya resolve to have fun on their date nevertheless. Lug goes home still hoping to save Daya from the conflict, but she has taken precautions to protect herself by fortifying her village. Later, an injured soldier approaches the Chuathida family and begs them to kill Daya. Luff's dad tells that Daya's dad had his own daughter killed to end the civil strife in the Vicon area. Lug figures out a method to use this mission to spare Daya's life because the Chuathida family has traditionally been able to refuse missions based on their interests, and he does so because he knows that her death won't end the battle. Luff's feelings for Daya are acknowledged by Tart, who provides assistance in reaching the Vicon region while minimizing Luff's use of magical energy. To sum up, Lug discovers that the mansion of the Vicon family is under siege, but he is able to escape and reach Daya with minimal losses. In the meantime, Maha has decided to quickly inform Lug of the facts her network has uncovered regarding the supernatural treasure he has been seeking. Lug and Daya's father develop a scheme to feign Daya's death and safely sneak her into the Chuathida area. Unfortunately, the scheme is thwarted by the arrival of Setanta Magnus. As Setanta is the wielder of Gibalg, Lug knows that he will not survive a direct battle with him, so he shoots a magnetically propelled tungsten projectile into the atmosphere and pauses Setanta long enough for it to obliterate him. Afterward, the Chuathida family adopts Daya under the pretense of being Luff's younger sister, completing the goal. Sometime later, Lug receives word that the true hero, Lord Deponarayanan, has arrived in the Alvin Kingdom. And that's the end of the story. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you won't miss out on new videos. Until next time, stay safe.